Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everyone tonight? I was setting my studio up and did an inadvertent broadcast. I know some of you probably saw it. But anyway, I am once again trimalcasting on Rumble, Utizzle, and Kick. And this might be my final trimalcast. I might go to simulcast, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm tired of wasting even 15 minutes of my precious time every night. So we'll get into that. But anyway, boy, there's a lot to talk about. SCOTUS is getting ready to come out with something big. We got big things happening, as always, in the Middle East and all around the world. And domestically also, the Swalwell situation might blow up into things that most people didn't even consider being connected, like Nancy Pelosi. I don't know. But anyway, what do? I play videos while people get in the chats. That's what I do. Give them time to get a nice cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage, whatever it is your want. And then we'll be like butter. And here he is, Fart Box himself, and get on a roll.
Is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard
with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, if we finally
corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
the most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman. Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told that the president of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play games? Okay. Come on. Okay. You want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time. Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. How many of you saw my inadvertent live stream? I don't know. But I was setting up my studio and things went awry while I was trying to get my Rumble stream out. Oh, boy. Elva, how you doing? Todd, nice to see you. Sissy, nice to see you. Sherry's here. All right. Linda's here. Who's cooking dinner tonight? Hi, Mac. How you doing? Lucky, how you doing? Robin's here. I need to do my talking head so people can do stuff like cook and stuff. They don't have to look at these little videos. Rebecca, nice to see you. Very nice to see you. Brett's here. Kim's here. Wayne, all right. Nice to see you, Wayne. He's giving me a thumbs up. Please remember to give me a thumbs up when you come in so you don't forget. It helps the videos get around. I tell you what, we've been getting twice the views. My video did get blocked last night temporarily. I had to remove that music that I kind of figured that was going to be the case. I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's see. I thought I saw Rubber Toe, but it's Robert. I hadn't seen Rubber Toe in a while. Where's old Rubber Toe at? But anyway, flannel cheese. Whoa. Why is that coming up all of a sudden? I'm getting something weird pop up on my screen. Flannel cheese is here. And donuts. Let's see. I know who's probably cooking dinner. I haven't seen her yet, though. But anyway, yeah, it's a beating. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. Oh, visiting family. Well, enjoy yourself. Angela's here. All right, Scott's here. Let's see who else is here. Let's see who else is here. All right, come on in, shake off your skin, and rattle around in your bones. Yeah, I was trying to set up my live stream with Rumble, and I tell you what, I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm putting a boom in real quick. Of my precious time being wasted screwing around. I don't know what the problem is. dealing with Bumble, why they can't get things squared away like other sites can, where you press a button and you go live. I don't know why they can't do that, and I'm about half sick of it. So I'll save my Rumble channel for backup in case I get summarily knocked out of here, and that is Mountain Man Speaks, all one word. Go over there and follow me on Mountain Man Speaks in case something happens to me. It'll be my backup channel. But as far as daily videos, I can't see going through this every night. It's ridiculous. And a lot of other people have the same issues. But anyway, hi, Brush, how you doing? Supper at Tammy's, yeah. What you got going on? Let's see. Oh, lasagna. I knew somebody was cooking. Somebody was cooking. But let's see. What have you all heard? Todd, you hear anything about SCOTUS? I'm going to tell you about it. I want to tell you something funny that happened to me. Last night before I went live, I was on Twitter, and I was chatting here, U.S. Central Command, and I showed you all this right here, U.S. blockade of Iranian ports. Y'all remember that? Well, that's where I got the screenshot from. 10,000 U.S. sailors, Marines, and airmen. Well, this was yesterday now, remember? It's up to about 50,000 now, men, plus what Pakistan's getting stirred up. I heard around 30,000. And we don't know who else is getting riled up. But anyway, on our side, by the way, anyway, so there's no ships made it past the U.S. blockade, 6 merchant vessels. And I was on my high horse because I was upset over people lying and saying that the Strait of Hormuz is closed because of Donald Trump, but people are still slipping through. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. All nonsense, all drummed up by the fake news media, right? So I put in there, it's fair to say that the U.S. is controlling, managing, overseeing, supervising, directing, pick any shipping in the strait, which is open. Okay, I was impressing upon them to say the strait was not closed. It's open. The blockade applies to Iranian ports. I put in capital letters like our president does. And coast, Iranian ports and coast. The Marxist propagandists carefully choose words for narrative purposes. So should we. So when I put this comment in, I had to go back in Twitter to find it. But when I put this comment in, there was probably 400 or less comments. There wasn't anybody addressing what I was saying right here, which is the strait is open. Just Iranian ports. And this is a guy, have you all heard of John Howie? He has done tweet streams or X streams during live court hearings. And he replied back to me and CENTCOM. Feel free to pass that along to CENTCOM, what I said. And you know me, I did. But anyway, so what do we find out today? Did you all watch Pete Hegseth? You know, the guy that's getting impeached supposedly, and Central Command putting out their description of what was going on. Let me see if this is the right clip. Keep in mind, I did that post. It got passed on to CENTCOM. The messaging was off. I'm beginning to wonder. But anyway, here we go. Raising Cain.
In addition to this blockade, the joint force, through operations and activities in other areas of responsibility, like the Pacific area of responsibility under the command of Admiral Paparo, will actively pursue any Iranian-flagged vessel or any vessel attempting to provide material support to Iran. This includes dark fleet vessels carrying Iranian oil. As most of you know, dark fleet vessels are those illicit or illegal ships evading international regulations, sanctions, or insurance requirements.
Okay, that's where they're going after dark fleets all around the world. I have to find the one that was prior to that. Let me see what this is. Let me see what this one is.
Those ships. At each point, the United States Navy will transmit a warning. A young sailor, normally on the bridge of one of those destroyers, a junior officer, picks up that mic and transmits, and I quote, "Do not attempt to breach the blockade. Vessels will be boarded for interdiction and seizure transiting to or from Iranian ports. Turn around or prepare to be boarded. If you do not comply with this blockade, we will use force."
Okay, that's I'm still looking for the clip. Let me see. My goodness. Don't tell me I didn't upload it. Anyway, he came out and said plump and plain. Whoa, that's Clarence Thomas. We're gonna talk about him in a minute. Came out plump and plain and said that the Strait of Hormuz was open and the blockade was for Iranian ports and the coast only. When I heard that today, I was like, man, I sent that message. They must have got it. Because nobody else was saying it that way. It's plump and plain. Let me see what Hoaxes got to say here.
Speaking of choosing wisely, a note to the press corps, to the American media. As I just can't help but notice the endless stream of garbage, the relentlessly negative coverage, you cannot resist peddling. Despite the historic and important success of this effort and the success of our troops. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what side some of you are actually on. It's incredibly unpatriotic. This same press corps, not this exact same press corps, but at least an older press corps, bent over backwards during the Biden administration to explain away, the disastrous and disgraceful Afghanistan withdrawal. You called it the greatest airlift in American history. It's almost like you're cheering only for one side.
Yeah, I got on the press. Just what I was saying, the Marxist mainstream media. I was trying to get this video up, dealing with all this stuff. But anyway, Hoaxes pointed him out to be the press to be like the Pharisees against Christ. I'll play that video in a little bit. Devin says, Mr. Tree's got an important message for us tomorrow. How you doing, Devin? Awaken 2, how are you? Nice to see you. Who else came in? Man, if I'd have showed you all that tweet I put out and that response from a pretty big Twitter guy or X guy, and then Raising Cain saying exactly the same thing. This is... The strait was open. This is for the coast. But anyway, I'll find it and then play it on another night. I just had to get up here somehow I had to get up here, and things were not going smooth. I don't want to keep harping on Rumble, but all it takes is a few trip ups, and you get knocked out of your thought pattern, your emotions, your preparation, mental preparation. It's all goes to hell in a damn handbag. Screwing around trying to get a video up on Rumble. So, but like I said, it will be my backup channel if I get the boot from here. So it's going to be a very important message. Well, we shall see. But I tell you what is going to happen? There's two things that are going on with the left. Well, there is a number of things biting at their heels. Okay, and they can't get away from it. And one of them is what's going to happen with the Electoral College. Democrats could lose up to 14 net Electoral College seats after the 2030 census as population shifts favor red states. You see there the states. I'm going to play you a video about this. This has nothing to do with SCOTUS, and it highlights the fact it's such a damn shame that people got to leave their home states to get away from these predatory bureaucrats that come up with confiscatory policies and so-called laws where people have to flee to another state. We would have had General Lee as a general with our army during the Civil War, if Virginia would have stuck with the Union, he would have stuck with Virginia. He had a loyalty to his state, not a cause. So anyway, but people are leaving their states, and it's showing in the census. And if the illegals are out, this number would probably double or triple. 14, right? But anyway, here's the, whoa. What in the heck is going on here? Here is the report. Electoral College. After 2030 census. GOP +7, Dems minus.
The movement of people to places like Florida and Texas. I know your business is in Miami as well as New York. It looks like because of that demographic shift, GOP could pick up 7 seats and the Democrats could lose 7 seats in these blue states thanks to these policies. But they don't seem to be wise to that, or at least they don't care enough about it. They'd rather tax people out of some of these places.
Yeah, real California's red. Yeah. Well, the whole country's red. This is a chimera. This is a artifice. The whole system is a hoax and a scam, and it's all going to come tumbling down. Clarence Thomas gave a speech, and he got a standing ovation at the beginning and the end. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas says Americans shouldn't treat the country like it runs on autopilot, but stand up and take responsibility for it. How many times have you all heard me say, we've been asleep at the switch? We're supposed to be driving our own destiny. We're not along for the ride. We're in control. If you let someone use your car and you never check on it and you get it back, what kind of condition do you think it would be in? And this was the accompanying photo with this Fox News blurb here. If we don't stand up and take ownership of our country and take responsibility for it, we're slowly letting others control how we think and what we think. The mind's eye. How many times you all heard me say it? That's what that prism is. That's what that triangle is with the eyeball in it on top of the pyramid on the dollar bill. They want to alter people's mind's eye, their perception forever. How many fingers am I holding up, Winston? So, Sonia Sotomayor, Mrs. Diabetes. I had an old friend. He wasn't the sharpest pencil. He said he had diabetes. God rest his soul. But anyway, it gets in your blood. That's what he told me. Diabetes. But anyway, she put out a public apology. Where is she at? How could I miss that face, even if it's shrunk up? These pictures are tiny, man. And I'm an old man. I can't see where the rats be at. But anyway, however it's worded, she put out a statement apologizing to Judge Roberts. Here she is. For the nasty way. She's referenced him in certain communications. There she is. There she is. A bag of beat-up doorknobs. I regret my hurtful comments. Again, you only see this stuff from Fox News. They're not doing good, though, but better than most of the crap. Justice Sonia Sotomayor issued a rare public apology after she criticized Justice Kavanaugh without naming him. Yeah, like we know who you're talking about. Sotomayor appeared to accuse him last week of not knowing any hourly workers, end quote, failing to grasp the real world effects, unquote, of an immigration order. Yeah. How many times do we have to put up news reports of people getting waylaid, losing their life in the streets? People that can't find jobs or housing. And on the fraud, and on and on and on. How about those real world effects? But there was some, you got a feeling. She was getting harsh. She was getting harsh with the top justice there, right? What could it be? Well, they're losing on something. They're losing on something big. See if anybody got it. Miss Mendersu, how are you? Are you cooking dinner tonight? I asked earlier. Tammy made us some lasagna. We have to love it from afar. But anyway, so where's it at here? Let me find this situation that's going on. What? Here we go. Here we go. Citizens Free Press put up former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer says reliable sources have told him the U.S. Supreme Court has decided to gut Section 2 of VRA via the huddle. I have been told by reliable sources that the decision is done. Grilled cheese and chili. Wow. Man, how about some tomatoes? Oh, every now and then I like me some tomatoes on my grilled cheese. Plenty of butter, too, nice and crispy. But anyway, VRA, what's that? What's that you say? Roland, how you doing? VRA is the Voting Rights Act. Now here we got to get our vernacular correct, just like with the Strait of Hormuz. Trump didn't close the Strait of Hormuz. It's open. And I'm swearing to you, as sure as I'm sitting here, the next day, General Raising Cane laid it out just like I put in that tweet. But anyway, they aren't gutting the Voters' Rights Act. They are interpreting it properly. Okay? So anyway, here's Sean Spicer. I'll show you the effects of this. But what does he say here? Why do you think Sotomayor was getting so nasty with Chief Justice Roberts? They're losing every time they turn around. And it looks to me like the guy on the top, I'm going to say the guy on the top right might be a little bit of a liberal. I don't know. Who is he? Maybe he's not. I don't know. But anyway, here's Sean Spicer.
On this, I have been told by reliable sources that decision is done and that the minority is slow walking the dissent so that states can't and states do not have time to redistrict ahead of it. But I have been told very reliably that the minority is slow walking that dissent.
All right, wait, hold on a second, because I don't think I've read that anywhere. That is news. So
oh, yeah.
The liberal justices are slow walking it. The decision's been made. No more of this racial gerrymandering. Their dissenting opinions are so full of dopiness and idiocy, you can have a ruling that's 10 pages long, and the dissent will be 80 damn pages of redundant blather and liberal fare thee well nonsense. So they want to hold up this decision. You heard Sean Spicer say it, till it's too late for the states to implement it before the midterms. Is that election interference? I would say so. But anyway, here's the effects. Potential map of the South. If the Supreme Court guts Section 2 of the VRA per New York Times. Current map, Republicans 65, Democrats 24. Potential map, Republicans 77, Democrats 12. A change of 12 seats from the Supreme Court decision. Put that on top of what I showed you earlier in this broadcast, 14 seats. We're talking about 26 seats. And I said, if they weren't counting illegal aliens in the census for the purpose of representation in Congress, it would be triple that. We're witnessing the end of the Democrat Party. This is going to be a political earthquake. I was thinking about putting political earthquake in there. But anyway, now you see where they're slow walking it. How long can they slow walk it? Will Roberts let them slow walk it? Is that going to push us towards a precipice? Because they know it's coming. The New York Times reported this. Sean Spicer already heard about it. You know it's going around like wildfire. I believe they have, because guess what Virginia just did? This harpy right here. Virginia governor, as Christian Aguayo, if you all want to check her channel out. So it's a quick video. Giving electoral votes to the winner of the popular vote. Is that constitutional? Is that going to cause a constitutional crisis? There's a crisis coming. We've been in a crisis, but a portion of this nation's been asleep or are true believers in a Marxist ideology. So if Virginia, Donald Trump wins Virginia, but if they feel they have enough votes from Haitians, we're going to get into that too, 350,000 of them, and whatever other groups you can imagine, and eke out a win in the popular vote, it doesn't matter if Trump wins Virginia or whoever it is that's Republican. Virginia would go to whoever won the popular vote in the nation. This was not something put up for a vote by the people in Virginia. This was something the installed what do they call them? Assemblymen or legislators or what? I don't know what they call them. But they passed it, and she's going to sign it. You don't have anybody protecting you. They all have this mentality right here. What's this woman's name? Here's the mentality. These people will be swept aside. Her Highness, this is from Citizen Free Press, Her Highness Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker. How dare you tell me as a mayor how to tax you? What? Clarence Thomas addressed this very same attitude. And guess what? He brought up a president that I've mentioned how many times over the years? Woodrow Wilson. That the elites run the country, should run the country, not the common man and woman. Well, all men and women, right? All men are created equal, men and women. Even though Katanji doesn't know who that is. Here she is right here. How dare you little peons tell me what to do?
We are open for business here, but how dare you tell me, as mayor of this city, to tell the people in this city that we cannot and should not enact what is one of the most limited powers that we have, and that is to decide how we will drive revenue to the school district of Philadelphia.
The school district. Another money laundering scheme is their education system. But hey, they're all falling in line with guess who? Their mentor, Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani. Trump said he needs to be stopped. That's pretty much what he's putting out there. That clown needs to be stopped. Where's that video I had him? Oh, here we go. Here we go. He has decided that people that own penthouses and aren't there enough to suit him should be taxed more. Man, there are going to be so many people leaving New York.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Happy Tax Day, New York, because we say schools, children, safety. That equals millions, millions. And we'll watch that demise of that. And, you know, and here's a little thing the White House put out. This is rich people. They didn't need any help from Zohran Mamdani. Okay, Zohran Mamdani's got money now. Don't think that's not the case. He's a millionaire. Okay, and somehow tied back to that Middle Eastern green cash. But anyway, here's what the White House put out. Who started this? Who started these savings for children? Donald Trump's brainchild. Brain trust that he employed, and millionaires voluntarily donating, helping tens of thousands newborns.
Yeah, it's what my Trump account looks like. All mine, baby. When a baby is born, money gets invested in their name, and then it just sits there, growing. While I'm still learning shapes, years go by, and when I'm growing up, the money grows up too. One day I could use it for college, to buy a house, or maybe to start my own company.
Success is my language, I speak it unchained. Swag is so fierce, it's a language I speak. Unmatched confidence, my power, my peak.
I'm building wealth, and I can't even walk yet. Boom. All you babies out there, make sure you get signed up.
Looking for the sauce, I got the recipe.
I'm probably going to get a daggone another takedown for the background music, but that's all right. I got to make it. So no thanks to Zoran Mamdani, who wants to take people's money. No, don't do a program where people can agree with the program and gladly give back to their country. Don't do that. What you do is you take their money and you throw it in the rat hole cesspool, S-hole of bureaucratic hell. That's where you put the money. And they cement their power, okay? They use it to cement their power. But we're tearing it apart. We're tearing their damn games apart. And here you go. Hochul. 1 minute, Hochul was sitting there. We got to keep our millionaires here, and we need you. Why don't you come back to our state? Oh, but now she's jumping on. They call her flip-flopping governor. She jumps in with Zoran Mamdani in the background with that little shit-eating grin. Oh, sorry about that. That grin on his face, you know, that you'd like to wipe off his face. But anyway, no new taxes. No, new taxes. Ha ha. Flip-flopping governor cozies up to Zoran with $500 million. What does this mean? Pay to tear fee proposal. Pay to tear. Some French. Oh, you all want to be European-style government, okay? Especially from a country like France, okay? During their revolution, you know, they had the time of terror in their revolution, how many years it lasted, where they were just pointing fingers at one another and chopping each other's heads off. They didn't even get to half the number of people that Iran wiped out in a matter of weeks. They didn't even get to half. The French. But anyway, that's who you all are following. European models, right? That's why we got to get you out of here and break the back. You know, a lot of you people in the chats know that is it 9 or 11 states? 9 or 11 states in our union out of 50 states, or what was Barack Obama said, 57 states? The dope didn't even know how many states were in the United States. But anyway, is it 9 or 11 of them with not one Republican representative in Congress? That's criminal. That's criminal. I think it's 11. Where their Republicans have no representation. So, this ruling, SCOTUS is getting ready to put it out and being slow-walked by Ketanji Brown Jackson, who has no damn business in the Supreme Court. We needed to come out because we're headed for a collision. But I always say, if Trump's fine, I'm fine. If Trump's happy, I'm happy. If Trump gets worried, Trump gets angry, so do I. Dan Scavino put this out. No panicins. Right? Patriots are in control. You know that word, patriots? I couldn't even use it on you, Tizzle. Remember that, folks, if you use that word? Isn't that sick? Somebody was controlling our media, and still is to some degree. I have to be careful. So, you know, I had an interesting back and forth on comments with a creepos in the video. I might go over that later, but or in another stream. But anyway, these people, how did they get control? Listen, I saw this video and I didn't watch it. Maybe I will and maybe I won't. Oh, wait a minute. It's 20 minutes of my precious time that I could be using to try to go live on Rumble. Yeah, over 1,000 videos. 1,000 videos. Hey, Rumble crowd, give me a thumbs up. But I've been a year around 475, 500 followers, 1,000 videos, and nothing, zero, okay, benefit, except I got a place to run to. Anyway, here is Minnesota lawmakers propose 100% tax on stolen state money. Okay, we all know Minnesota's under the fraud spotlight big time. Is this their solution? If we catch somebody stealing, we're going to tax them for it. I rolled my eyes so hard, they almost fell out of the back of my head. Tax them? No. You confiscate the money. You confiscate their property just like a drug dealer. And you arrest them and you throw their asses in jail. What is this, a solution to get the feds off your state? No. No, they're pushing it to the limit. Here's the first I saw this. Right here. Fox, local Fox in Minneapolis. Daggone it. Come on back. There we go. Local Fox in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Put this up. ICE officer charged with assault for gun pointing. I don't know the whole story. And I could have got some clips of that weird-looking man haircut woman that came out there, a harpy, a block-headed, bull, D-Y-K-E, okay, coming out talking about the ICE agent pulled alongside the car on the wrong side of the road and menaced these victims, the victims that blow the whistles and scream and yell and follow ICE all around. And they ought to be in federal prison for obstructing federal law enforcement. No, they're victims. And they get away with it day after day after day after day. And while he was supposedly on the wrong side of the road, beside the victim's vehicle, he pulled a gun out and pointed at him. And so they're charging him with a felony. Is he a fugitive? They're looking for him, is what they claim. Now the DOJ has to figure out what the hell we're going to do with this situation. If he lost his temper, lost his cool, and pointed the firearm, hey, I got to take it for what it is, whatever happened. But it should not be a state decision. If he is reprimanded, suspended, loses his job, or maybe he didn't do nothing wrong. Do you ever think about that? We're taking the word of a lunatic liberals. Just like they showed the picture of the old man with the blanket around him. Oh, an American citizen was... I hope if he was knowingly withholding his name and interfering, delaying a lawful investigation, I hope they arrest his ass for obstruction. And if I've been through that, but they are praying for moments like this. They're praying for moments like this so they can try to get a lawsuit going. I called it the riot racket. Remember? The riot racket. Well, here's one dimblewit. Let me see if I got the first picture of her. Because, I had this the other day and I never got to it. And, of course, Libs of TikTok is on it. Ha, ha, ha. Libs of TikTok's on a lot of stuff. That's a woman, isn't it? Come on and expand. Oh, my goodness. What the heck? How long till Democrats march the streets to defend her? Woman claims she was detained by ICE for 2 days, but was actually at a hotel getting spa treatments. She's suing. Okay, she's looking for a civil rights lawsuit. I would yank the attorneys involved in this situation. Well, what's going on with her? The sheriff's department. The sheriff's department is suing her back, okay? Here she is. The poor little angel that was supposedly detained, but she was really getting a back rub, probably more than that, but anyway.
That is right, Cheryl. Today, the Dodge County Sheriff said Sundance Sonny Nakvi's story was made up, and he's demanding action accountability for what he calls lies.
Sundance Nakvi was not detained by ICE at any time. She was not transported to Broadview Detention Facility. She was not transported across state lines to Dodge County, by law enforcement anyway. She was not in the custody of the Dodge County Sheriff's Office.
Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt, in his lawsuit, outlining what he calls a hoax allegedly carried out by 28-year-old Sundance Sonny Nakvi. Nakvi's supporters spoke out last month after the Evanston native claimed she was detained at O'Hare Airport by Customs and Border Protection for 30 hours. Her family says she was then sent to the ICE detention facility in Broadview and later transported to a facility in Dodge County, Wisconsin, where they said she was released Saturday, March 7th. According to the lawsuit, Sheriff Schmidt says Nakvi was actually staying at a hotel near O'Hare and allegedly sent text messages from her room.
She checked into the Hampton Inn and Suites in Rosemont, Illinois for the entire duration of this alleged event. Travel from the Hampton Inn and Suites in Illinois to the Holiday Inn Express in Beaver Dam was done to complete this hoax. She scammed a victim out of thousands of dollars in pursuit of this hoax against the federal government and the Dodge County Sheriff's Office.
During the sheriff's news conference, he displayed what he says are messages from Nakvi at the time she claimed she was in custody. One message says, quote, "Going to look into this hotel." Another says, "In the room now." And then there's this image also shown at the press conference in which the sheriff says Nakvi was spotted at a store in Wisconsin during the time she says she was being held by Dodge County officials. Sheriff Schmidt says this isn't Nakvi's first time lying to law enforcement. Court records confirm a 2019 case in which Nakvi filed a false police report with Skokie PD claiming she was sexually assaulted in a park. She pleaded guilty and did 2 years of probation, and the case was then dismissed. The sheriff personally suing Nakvi for her alleged defamatory claims against his office. The sheriff also suing Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison for defamation. Morrison held a press conference on behalf of Nakvi last month.
They asked for Sonny's phone number so they could search the facility for her phone. About 10 minutes later, the phone opened, text messages were read, and the phone was turned off, and we lost her location.
The Dodge County Sheriff said while the situation is disturbing and defamatory, no laws were broken in Wisconsin, so they cannot file criminal charges. We have reached out to Sonny Nakvi and her family for comment on the allegations and the lawsuit. We have not heard back. Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison said, quote, "It is my understanding that a lawsuit has been filed. I have not seen it, and if a suit has in fact been filed, I cannot comment on pending litigation." The Dodge County Sheriff said Nakvi was detained at O'Hare by Customs and Border Protection, but for a little over an hour, not 30 hours as she claimed. Customs and Border Protection told us that at the time she was flagged for additional inspection based on law enforcement checks. The story continues to unravel, and so many questions as to why some of these allegations took place.
Yeah, well, I hope she probably hadn't got two dimes rubbed together.
A lot more to unpack here.
She probably hadn't got two dimes rubbed together to make a spark. But if there's people involved with that, egging her on or giving her advice, I hope they nail them. Hope they nail them. Yeah, I'm reading that about the French Revolution, where Jack Posobiec put up something about that. me see. Oh, this is about that little boy that got stabbed, okay? Here's the fundraiser for the white child that was slashed and nearly stabbed to death in Omaha. Zoran, Mom, Dami, you got plenty of cash. Why don't you send some money to, what's his name, Siler Hillman? And there's some close-ups of his wounds. I'm not going to show those. Did you all hear about that? Where an officer took her out. Took her out. I had that in the studio. So it's way down here with a bunch of other stuff. And she was, the body cam, here it is. Body cam shows it. Right here. Kid, he's looking around. Woman fatally shot by officers after slashing a 3-year-old boy in a Walmart shopping cart. And that's the instant before she bought the farm. And they say she was diagnosed as having several loose screws. And why she's walking the earth, why she's walking free, I got no idea. Or she was. She ain't walking it now. That's obvious. But we hear this stuff all the time. Here. Is this TikTok? No, Elon Musk put this one up. Who's this guy? Who's this up-and-coming engineer or rocket scientist? The justice system needs major reform. This absolute monster named Tesfaye Cooper, the same thug who tortured a disabled teenager on Facebook Live, is back on the streets. There he is. And, of course, they blurred out the photographs where they, what he did to that young person. We live in a sick world, and it ain't getting any better. But, oh, don't worry. Pope Leo, he's getting going again. Here he is. Pope Leo. Handful of tyrants ravaging earth with war and exploitation. Blessed are the peacemakers. Pope Leo, does he know how many people these mullahs have harmed over the decades? Woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, and political gain, dragging that which is sacred into the darkness and filth. Did you all hear that he met with David Axelrod? Before he ever came out with his first slap at Trump. He met with David Axelrod. David Axelrod, I guarantee he's on first name basis with James Carville. You know, the one who wants to shave people's heads and spit on them in the streets. Put them all in jail. He wants Donald Trump to suffer. I don't want him to die. I want him to live. I want him to suffer. I want to make him and his whole family suffer. That's who, that ilk is who Leo met with and is listening to. What else did he put out something else too? But anyway, I'm a Catholic. I've said it before, a Roman Catholic, grew up Roman Catholic, just like Tom Holman. And I remember my mom had names for, called them hippie dippies. Back in the 60s, you go in there to church and there are a bunch of long hairs and, they're hedonists, even back then in the day. They were hippie dippies. How many of you all are familiar with that term, hippie dippy? Barracuda, how you doing? Ha ha ha. You got a Kaiser. I got a 59 pickup, Devin. 6-cylinder Super Hurricane. Sue, nice to see you. The Super Hurricane. I change the oil tomorrow. Super Hurricane. It'll walk the dog, I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, where's Pope Leo? So anyway, here's his brother. Trump said, I like his brother. Well, here he is. Pope Leo's brother. What happened to Pope Leo's brother? New Pope Leo's pro-Trump brother faces a bomb threat at his home. What do you think about that, Pope Leo? Just because he voted for Trump? A bomb threat rattled a quiet Illinois neighborhood Wednesday night after targeting the home of the brother of Pope Leo XIV. Authorities said. Police in New Lenox responded to the scene, swept the property. Oh, I've had Willys since the 1980s. I had a 1946 Willys Jeep with a 327 Chevrolet engine in it. I had a 1947 Jeep. I sold that about 8 years ago. My God. It's in a local museum. Even had the hand crank windshield wiper on the passenger side. And I had a 1951 pickup truck, Willys pickup truck. I've talked about my old cars several times on the broadcast. I had a 1955 Thunderbird convertible, 1975 450 SL Mercedes. I've had Jeeps from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Yeah. Here's Pope Leo again, right here. I'm looking for him. I was looking for his little head was sticking up. A new poll is cutting against the media's favorite storyline that President Trump has lost Catholic America after his dust-up with Pope Leo, and showing a block that looks less like a schism and more like a near-even split. That's why I was bringing up the hippy dippies from the 60s. I had a Barracuda too, 440 Chrysler in that Barracuda. Anyway, for 50, 70 years, the Catholic Church has been split between people that understand that Vatican II was a problem, and the real message behind Christ's words, and the hippy dippies that think Christ smoked pot and walked around saying, come on, man, just love each other. I would respectfully tell Pope Leo, did Jesus Christ not say, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one? Did he not say that? But, as I said, anything that is not official encyclical has been through a conference of cardinals and all this. He's speaking just as a man. My father told me that a long time ago. He's speaking just as a man. And people are fallible. All humans are fallible. It's not official church doctrine. Here's Trump right here. This might be the one where he says, tell that to Pope Leo, because they're going to, or probably doing it right now. X3 acute 4 citizens today. One of them is a woman in Iran.
Iran is going to execute 4 more protesters, reportedly, including the first woman protester. What do you tell Iran?
Well, tell that to the Pope. What do you say? Tell that to the Pope.
You want to patch things up with the Pope?
That Iran is going to... Did you just hear that? Iran is going to execute 4 people, including a woman?
The Lebanese love you so much. Will you visit Lebanon?
He said, tell that to Pope Leo. Yeah, have him write a letter to the mullahs. Here, what's this one now? Another. Let me see if I get these. Sometimes I'll do a whole broadcast. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm at 2 hours, and I got videos I didn't even play. But I want to get back to where I talk about issues and my insights and thoughts. I might do that in the future. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably, maybe over the weekend.
Will you send the Vice President? Mr. President, will you send the Vice President?
The blockade has been incredible. It's held. They're not doing any business. They're unable to do any business because of the blockade. And so the combination of having no Navy, having no Air Force, having no anti-aircraft equipment, they have nothing. Everything is gone, including their leaders. Now they have a new set of leaders, and we find them very reasonable.
New leaders, yeah. They better be reasonable, or they'll be the old leaders. Yeah. Let me see. Let me pay attention to the chats here. Ha ha. Roland says no president has talked to the press so much as Mr. T. That is true. And Mac, I tell you what, I couldn't tell you how many 302 vehicles I had with 302 engines. I had 80 Lincoln Mark 6 4-door. No, yeah, the 80 was a 4-door Mark 6 with a 302 engine, and my 81 Lincoln Mark 6 2-door, and both of them were Arctic white with maroon leather seats. Ha ha ha, Mountain Man Mafia, that's what I was, rolling a gangster trunk and oval opera windows, flip-up headlights. I had Mercury Marquis, I had Crown Victorias, and they all had 302s in them. They are bulletproof. For land vehicles. Now, if you're going to get into Marine, nothing beats Chrysler Marine. 318 Chrysler. In your boats, if you got a medium-sized boat, you got a big boat, you need the 440s, the big dogs. And I had all of them, 318s and 440s. But anyway, so let's carry on with Mr. T. What else has Mr. T got? Oh, who's this guy? Let's see what comes out of this. He's supposed to meet with China here next month. Who's this guy? Biopathogen marked as women's underwear smuggled into the U.S. Here's a guy that sounds like Civil War getting thrown down the steps. I can't say his name, but just imagine the Civil War down the steps from China. And what's he doing? Sneaking the E. coli, I understand it was, into our country. And why would we house him for how many years? No, you're bringing in a bioweapon. You're finished. Your life is forfeit, along with many others that we've seen that have been let loose only to destroy other people's lives. Literally take their lives. It's time to end it. Speaking of, man, what a horrible situation this was. Horrible. Did y'all hear about this? This guy, he used to be a state attorney, right? For Virginia. Here we go, back to Virginia. He ended his wife's life and he took his own life. Former lieutenant governor. I thought he was attorney general. No, he was the lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, SHOT, and took his wife's life and then turned the gun on himself. Thank goodness they blatted out the children's names. Now, there is a 911 call. She was a doctor, Barracuda. She could be a red bone. I don't know. She was a doctor. And I said, wow, when was he lieutenant governor? And I was thinking, Winsome Sears, I'm thinking, going back, he was Northam, Ralph Northam, who got run out of office because of S3 actual charges or inappropriate relationships or whatever the hell you want to call it. But anyway, he quoted on, here he is, former governor of Virginia. I think he was governor from 2018 to 22. I don't know. You have to double check me on that. Lincoln's had, Lincoln is Ford, Mercury Lincoln, and New Yorkers or Chrysler New Yorkers and Plymouth. Chrysler Plymouth. You don't want to confuse the big three automakers, which would be Chevy and GM and all the others I just mentioned. So anyway, Pam and I are devastated by this heartbreaking news. I had the privilege of getting to know the Fairfaxes while our families served together. Well, there's something up with you all in the Democrat Party, I can tell you that. This is bizarre, okay? And the 911 call is just heartbreaking. The kids, one of the kids called in, and I didn't even listen to it, and I wish they wouldn't put that stuff out there. It's horrible. But what is this background story? I mean, if nothing else, to spot these situations and stop them. Spot and stop. But anyway, like with Swalwell, we're hearing that everybody knew about him and that Galileo guy, or whatever the hell his name is. They all knew he was running around doing this crap. Just like they all knew about Jeffrey Epstein. Remember Cindy McCain? John McStain's widow, because we don't say his name. Widow saying, well, we all knew Jeffrey Epstein, what he was doing. He was evil, he was sick, but people just didn't say anything about it. Well, here's Trump saying Swalwell's always been a sleeve bag. And he has been a sleaze bag. So they're saying Nancy Pelosi knew a lot about both of those two. And knew about the campaign money being shuffled around here and there. Is it some kind of deal where they take their DNC money, their Act Blue money, and it's got to go to certain overseers, and then part of their rewards not only is the congressional power, the elitism, but young people from overseas, where you can do what you want. You can even have like a 14-year-old film you while you do it. Wouldn't that make these weirdos happy, wouldn't it? Boy, how things have changed. How things have changed. People in the 1980s, I bet they'll have flying cars in 30 years. Meanwhile, 2026, I identify as a cat, and if you refuse to believe me, you are full of hate. A fat cat to boot. With blue hair. So anyway, it's all coming down to this right here. All coming down to this right here. They paid a foreign government to falsify information, then lie to the courts to spy and overthrow Trump. Democrats lied and impeached Trump to hide their crimes. We will never forget or forgive them. Nobody walks, folks. Nobody walks. And once we get this Congress flushed out, we flush these Marxist turds down the bowl, we're going to be able to enact. We're going to be able to act on the information that is being released that they've always had. Gabbard refers impeachment whistleblower to DOJ for criminal investigation. Odie and I can confirm a referral was sent to DOJ related to one or more former employees of the intelligence community and their role in the, what's that? I hate that they put that red thing there. Impeachment of Donald Trump. Odie and I. So it's going to be more than two. It's going to be more than two. And how much of it is going to get tangled up with judges? FISA judges. Who's a FISA judge? Y'all take a guess who I'm talking about. I meant to talk about it last night, but I didn't. Who's a FISA judge? Who's a FISA judge and desperately wants Trump to fail, desperately wants him out of office, can't stand MAGA or Donald J. Trump. He's a Wilsonian. a Wilsonian, Woodrow Wilson, the racist Marxist president of the United States, who was in office when they passed the 16th Amendment, which gave the government the power they never had, which was to harass us about what we do all day and take from us the fruits of our labor. I'm asking a question. Who is the judge I'm talking about that was on the FISA court, is on the FISA court and is attacking Donald J. Trump? Let me put up some of his posts. Sadly, Mayor Mamdani is destroying New York. It has no chance. The United States of America should not contribute to its failure. In other words, there you go, Todd, Randy, Barracuda got it. Ha ha ha. Boasberg. His tentacles go farther than most people know. But anyway, he's talking about withholding federal funds, rightfully so, from the communist mayor, Mamdani. The tax policies are so wrong. People are fleeing. They must change their ways, and fast. History has proven this, quote, stuff just doesn't work. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, Boasberg just got pimp slapped about interfering with Trump and immigrants, trying to hold them in criminal contempt. Trump put up, Italy wasn't there for us. We won't be there for them. Italy denies use of Sicily Air Base to U.S. planes carrying weapons for Iran war. Defense Ministry said U.S. failed to request authorization in time for Parliament to give approval as required by the international treaty. That's okay. We got a long memory. Keep it up. We'll see when your comeuppance, your the payback, the big payback. Let's see. I don't know if I copied some of these twice or not. Let me see. Where's that one I wanted to talk about? Oh, come on. Where did it go? He's mentioning this judge. Let me see. A Trump-hating judge. Here we go. This isn't Boasberg yet. For the first time in history, wants Congress to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for a glorious ballroom instead of accepting donations from great American companies and citizens. This is a first. In other words, he wants taxpayers to pay for the ballroom instead of donors and patriots. The ballroom is free for our country, a gift, and vital for our national security. This judge, who works for another judge who just got mandamused, which is Judge Boasberg. This judge is under Boasberg. Boasberg is the chief judge of the D.C. District, Washington, D.C., the Magic Kingdom. And a writ of mandamus means you are mandated. And that's what was handed down to Boasberg. We mandate that you get the hell out of this business of trying to get administration officials charged for your stupid contempt of court. And he's been mandamused twice at least by higher courts. So anyway, he was mandamused for the unfair and biased way he treats me. Should be ashamed of himself, President Donald J. Trump. Trump gave some insight to the ballroom. Let me see. This format's a little bit more condensed. Let's see. The White House doesn't have a ballroom. No taxpayer money, which presidents have desperately wanted and desired for 150 years. But a Trump-hating Washington, D.C. District Court judge, a man who's gone on his way to undermine national security, remember that, and make sure that this great gift to America gets delayed or doesn't get built, is attempting to prevent future presidents and world leaders from having a safe and secure large-scale meeting place or ballroom, one with bomb shelters, a state-of-the-art hospital and medical facilities, protective partitioning, top-secret military installations, structures, and equipment, protective missile-resistant steel, columns, roofs, and beams, drone-proof ceilings and roofs, military-grade venting, and ballistic and blast-proof glass, which all means that no future president living in the White House without this ballroom can ever be safe and secure at events, future inaugurations, or global summits. This magnificent space will allow them to carry out their vital duties as leader of our nation. Furthermore, the ballroom, which is being constructed on budget and ahead of schedule, is needed now. Almost all material necessary for its construction is being built and or on its way to the site, ready for installation and erection. Much of it has been paid for, costing hundreds of millions of dollars. If somebody, especially one with no standing, I need to get this woman's name. It's one woman on a board that popped up out of the ground in 2025. One person saying, the aesthetics will disturb me when I look at it. An unelected harpy liberal, how the hell does she stop a military project from the President of the United States concerning the White House? One old bat. But anyway, I'm going to find out who she is. I know who she is. I need to pull her information up. She's mentioned in the complaint or in the responses. Anyway, why wasn't her complaint filed many months earlier, long before construction was started? The public record was open for all to see. Everyone knew that it was planned and going to be built. This highly political judge and his illegal overreach is out of control and costing our nation greatly. This is a mockery of our court system. The ballroom is deeply important to our national security, and no judge can be allowed to stop the historic and militarily imperative project. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So somebody better get on that. So if SCOTUS has to review this, is that going to give them more time to delay the ruling that we talked about earlier? Because they're going to do 80 pages of BS about the people's house in the ballroom. The president is not a king and all this stuff that makes Clarence Thomas literally roll his eyes when he has to sit next to these ninnies and listen to them with their dissents, which is nothing but pissing and moaning, okay? And trying to make it sound in legalese. So anyway, boy, Billy Graham wrote Trump a letter backing him up. All kinds of stuff. Man, time goes by so fast. Let me see here. Oh, here's Zohran Mamdani's wife. Both of these clowns should be back over in Sandland, okay? New Mamdani's wife responds after outlet exposes stunning posts. I mean, she put up vile posts and inciting vitriol, expressing vitriol. Rama Duwaji, the wife of New York City Mayor Zoran. Can you believe this? The First Lady of New York and the mayor named Rama Duwaji and Zoran Mamdani. Well, it's no shock after Barack Hussein Obama. What a disgrace. He's trying to mop up social media mess after a report resurfaced that old posts included praise for figures tied to Palestine terrorists. That kind of post, if she's naturalized, should have been enough to have her citizenship stripped and shipped back to whatever asshole she came from. Here's Trump again. Who's dumber? Tucker Carlson or Joe Kent? Leaky Joe is very interesting. I met Joe Kent at Dover Air Force Base, along with numerous others who had lost their loved ones in war. I said hello to all the families. Kent horribly lost his wife. Man, that's bad. Her casket was being brought to Dover, along with the rest. Although he married again, quite quickly, in my opinion. In any event, a number of years later, I noticed the same person was running for Congress in Washington State and lost. Then I noticed a couple of years later, he was running again and lost. Well, Washington State should have put up some antennas. While I didn't know him other than our brief Dover encounter, but feeling sorry for him after the 2 election losses, I told my people, hire him for the White House, give him a job, and make him feel good. He lost his wife in 2 elections. They did so. And while I rarely saw him, let me get the other half of this, about Joe Kent. Where was that? While I rarely saw him, I certainly didn't expect disloyalty, but that's what I got. He was really a sleazebag. And some would say, on top of it all, a leaker. That's why I call him Leaky Joe, because some say he's a leaker. I don't know whether or not that's true. Neither do I, but I still call him Leaky Joe. Could be something to do with the prostate. I don't know. But next time, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Kent is a loser, just like Tucker, Candace, Megan, and the rest of them are losers. You're born that way. Low IQ. And there's not a damn thing they're going to be able to do about it. President Donald J. Trump. Oh, you're born. That's it. You're stuck. You're stuck in Stupidville. You know, here's a video, y'all. What time am I at? I'm at the. What time is on the screen? 1:27 mark. This guy did a video on Candace Owen. Candace Owen skips her schizo meds. It's so fun to watch. I don't believe this guy used a foul word to the whole thing. People can broadcast, they don't need to cuss. But anyway, you never know what's under that makeup. That's why they say, if you like a girl, take her swimming. And that way you could have it all melt off of there. And who knows if those eyelashes are super glued on. I don't know. But anyway, it's a video about some of the crap she was saying about Charlie Kirk's wife and all. So if anybody wants to watch this stuff. But, hey, I made my mind up. I know, you all know what I think. She put an egg beater in her ear and cranked the handle. Miss Mendersu is reminding me, plus she put a boom. Oh, I don't want that one to blow. I want it out here. Bow. Come bang. Miss Mendersu putting up coffees and booms that I need to thank Mike and Bev for. But I should have said at the very, very beginning. Thank you, Mike and Bev. They're watching me on the big screen. And let me put up some more booms. Cobb. Boom. We're in the third week. Pow. There we go. Cobb. Boom. So, yeah, we're in the third week. And I haven't, shoot, Jiminy Crickets. I'm off my game tonight. If I ever had any game. But, yeah, I need to put something in the description for, now what am I talking about description? I mean the chats. I keep saying that. I need to put something in the chats for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I have. There's Miss Bender Sue. She's going to get some booms as soon as I'll put it right underneath your booms, Miss Bender Sue. My link for Buy Me a Coffee. There we go. And I had some people on Kick watching. And this shows up in the Kick stream. So if anybody wants to help support the channel, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not monetized on YouTube. And like I said, this week, Mike and Bev helped out. And I really appreciate everybody that's helped out in the weeks beforehand. What happened in my first video? I talked about that when I first went live. I'm really got this Rumble business under consideration. I can't keep dealing with this. Hunting and pecking and trying to jump between studios to go live. And it's easy. Anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes a day just wasted. Screwing around. So anyway, I'm sick of it. And over 1,000 videos on Rumble. And I appreciate the diehards that watch. And I have said 1,000 times, I've been so broke, I couldn't spend a night. Okay? So I understand if people can't go buy me a coffee. But 1,000 videos, let me check my records. Rumble, how many people went to buy me a coffee? Here, check my records. Okay. Who went to buy me a coffee? Oh, okay, right here. I got it. All right. How many went to buy me a coffee from Rumble? 1,000 videos. 1,200 videos. I don't know how many it is. Let me see. Bottom line, right here at the bottom. 0. Okay? 0. I'm not even worth a flipping cup of coffee. And I've been like a moron spending my precious time trying to get videos to simulcast on Rumble. And the thanks I get is a big finger. So, and a lot of wasted time. But, like I said, it's my backup channel if I got to go to it. But don't expect it every night anymore. 0 comments, 1 or 2 comments every month or so. And no chats. And, I don't even know if my views are even real on that site. I got no idea. They pay a guy like this. Now put in the chats if you know who this person is. And I have had my say about this person in the past. Right here. Tell me if you know who this person is. Rumor has it they pay this guy $1 million. A contract for $1 million. Some say it's up in June. He has said on communications with other people that it's getting renewed for 5 years. $1 million. And guess what? I called him out about 2 years ago for being in my opinion, a bum. Okay? And I was subscribed to him, and that's no longer the case because I felt he was a bum for what he was doing to a young lady who had a speckled past, okay? And she was decrying how young girls are enticed into an industry that is demonic. And she wants to stop other young girls from getting into the music industry and destroying their own honor and self-worth for all time. She wanted to have her father's farm be transformed into a haven where young girls won't get who don't have a place to sleep that night or food to eat, getting snatched up by people who use them, like Jeffrey Epstein did. And he made a mockery of her. And I said he wasn't a man. I said he was scum for putting her on blast and putting up her old videos all over the place. Her name was Elijah Blue. Remember that, folks? I wonder if when I got suspended or when I got taken down, I wonder if this had anything to do with it. I wasn't going to talk about this character tonight, but I am now. Because it's coming out, and I've heard him talk about filthy things, okay? Having a marriage that's a free-for-all. How about that? That he doesn't have a problem with it. Disgusting stuff that he's done. Do you know that he is friends with the second in command, I guess you'd say, of Nexium? He said it on a live stream. He's had the person over to his house. The S3X club that Richard Rainier got sent to prison, is still in prison for, will be in prison for the rest of his life. The one right under him was his friend and been to his house. And things that he's laughed about doing. That's so disgusting. I'm loath to even talk about it. Well, folks, I don't like talking about disgusting stuff. But I will tell you, like with Rekieta. Remember when I said that Rekieta, he was covering the trial of the Kenosha kid, and I told everybody, y'all check out Nick. Well, he turned out to be a swinger. Had a 4-year-old child that tested positive for cocaine. And you know what? That's been a while. That's been a minute. Just the other day, I realized I was still subscribed to Rekieta. I said, oh my gosh, so I took care of that. That's not the situation anymore. But you can be subscribed to people and forget all about it. But I used to be subscribed to him, but when he did what he did with Elijah Blue and was reveling in it, making fun of her, and proudly putting up videos that she did as a young girl and laughing at her when she was trying to straighten her life out and help other young girls. I knew he wasn't, in my book, he wasn't a man. He wasn't a man. Now, here it is a couple of years later. He's talking to 2 females that he pays to be in his live stream. And he flirts with them. He talks inappropriately. He talks about pleasuring himself. But one, I'm sorry, he said it. He said it. That he drank another woman's food supply for their kid. I'll put it that way. And he got in trouble. His wife got mad at him. She usually doesn't get mad, but that made her mad. We're talking disgusting tripe. TRIPE. This person. And he's been going around. The story is he's been going around flagging people, getting people taken down. I'm wondering if the times I got suspended over and over and over again, sitting around for a week, sitting around for 2 weeks, losing a channel and having to appeal. I don't know. Was it because of that Elijah Blue stuff? Maybe one of them. Who is this guy? Who the hell does he think he is? But Rummel's paying him $1 million and I can't get a damn cup of coffee? And what's he doing? He's playing other people's videos. He'll say, This is really crazy. Tell me what you think about this crazy situation in the comments. And then he'll play somebody else's video. And then play his dopey music. The quartering. And that's his content. Well, they were high school puppy love, right? And they got married. And now there's all kinds of stories I'm not going to get into about Ricada style crap, okay? And worse than that, you don't have the second in line in charge of Nexium coming to your house, okay? So that's enough of that. Yeah, Miss Winter, so you need to check your subscriptions out. $1 million is the story. I don't know what he got. Look here. Does this look like the same person to you? What did they do to her? Well, do you think it's because they washed her hair and put the same type of makeup on that Candace Owens uses? Or do you think this is even Rosie O'Donnell? I'm not kidding, folks. Yeah, at the first blink, you would say Rosie O'Donnell. But you stare at it a little longer. We're talking about putting makeup on with a putty knife. Okay, and you just look at that picture I put up of Candace Owens. That's what, I don't know what the hell is going on there. But anyway, they say this is Rosie. And she's upset about, what's she upset about? Let's see.
Country when you're there. Like, you can't help but feel it. Now, can we talk a little bit about Eric Swalwell? I know that guy. In the what kind of way? Like, spoke to him on the phone a couple times. Donated money to him, I believe. Talked about him in some public appearances years ago about how I believed in him and his cute little family and 2 kids and standing up to all those people when he, berates them for their moralist behavior. And then all this comes out about him. And it's heartbreaking to me, And I wrote him a little message, and I said, Bill Clinton broke my heart, and now you did too. The conclusion I've come to, men suck. Men suck. The way that they are physiologically, they can't sort of control their sexual urges. This is what I find. And all of these things now coming out with Epstein and child abuse in America, and in what communities is it more rampant? And do you think Jeffrey Epstein was the only one running a brothel for children for billionaires? I don't think he was,
Well, one thing this video did was it put Swalwell's name in the same sentence and video as Epstein's. Think about it, folks. And who else's name? Clinton. And personally, I'm thinking it could be a filter. They got some real good filters. The one I just had up there, quartering, he uses them. I don't know. I got so much stuff, but Candace Cleanup, how you doing? Yeah, Miss Minister, a rubber mask. I don't know what they're doing. Very bizarre. I'll tell you what. Did you all see this young man here? He was up in Artemis. Who knows when the heart will be touched. The heart will be touched by the magnificence of God. I'm really not a religious person, but I saw the cross and I just broke down in tears. Well, he's not a religious person, okay. You're not the only one who's not religious. There's a lot of people who aren't religious. But he did publicly say it in an interview. Here he is. Come on, here we go. I'm going to play this for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And I want to thank you all, as I always do, for spending your precious time with me. And my folks on Rumble, thank you so much, too. I hope you understand my frustrations. So anyway, I should be going live tonight. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. Thank you once again to Mike and Bev. Kaboom! And Miss Bindersue put a bunch of booms in, so I'm suspecting, pow! We'll see what happens with the buy me a coffee. I have a link in the chats. I forgot what time I put it in, so now I got to put it in again. I say the timestamp and then I forget because I'm an old man. But anyway, there, it's in the chat. So anyway, there's a link. If anybody wants to help the channel out, I appreciate it. It's in the description in Rumble, like it's been for 800, 900, 1,000 videos. But anyway, folks, enjoy this clip. I should be going live tomorrow night. So what does that mean? That means I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
I'm not really a religious person, but there was just no other avenue for me to explain anything or to experience anything. So I asked for the chaplain on the Navy ship to just come visit us for a minute. And when that man walked in, I'd never met him before in my life, but I saw the cross on his collar. I broke down in tears. It's very hard to fully grasp what we just went through. And in these short, you just said it's been a week since we've been back, but it's been a week of medical testing, physical testing, doctors, science objectives. We have not had that decompression. We have not had that reflection time. So I'm basing this on what we saw. And when the sun eclipsed behind the moon, I think all four of us, I turned to Victor and I said, I don't think humanity has evolved to the point of being able to comprehend what we were looking at right now, because it was otherworldly and it was amazing.